I tried telling you, Chiefs Kingdom, I tried to warn you that once you come into this weekend, basically phase 2 of the NFL free agency, Brett Veach will start cooking. And that's what he did today as the Kansas City Chiefs had 2 sneaky additions. And we will get into that. But before we do, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, as I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chief related that you do not want to miss out on. And without further ado, let's have some fun. Brett Veach was on full display today, showing why he is one of the best, if not best GMs in the league. I know, coming from Chiefs Kingdom and any fan base in the world, when free agency first kicks off, we want our team to be swinging for the fences. Basically sign all these key star contributors and build this mega team and try to not even go to a Super Bowl, but try to go undefeated, because Chiefs Kingdom, we can be unrealistic and we'll try to add the top 3 wide receivers, top running backs, defense, and we don't even care about cap. Brett Veach, he works different than us, and that's why I mentioned in my video yesterday, it doesn't matter what Chiefs Kingdom feels, and it doesn't matter how I feel. Brett Veach will always have the best interest first for the Kansas City Chiefs, and today was a prime example for that, because when it comes to phase 2, when it comes to over the weekend, when those guys who didn't get signed earlier in the week, he's going to bid right, and he's going to get those sneaky one-year deal bargains, and we'll just jump right into it. With the first one, the safety coming from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Mike Edwards. A lot of us may not know him. I quite frankly did a little bit, because I seen a little tape on him, and I seen one thing about him is he is a playmaker. It seems like his athletic ability is off the charts. It is second to none. Now, when you go back to the stats of this year, I'm not going to lie, he did struggle. And there is a reason why he is taking a one-year deal. It's basically a prove-it deal, and he's not too expensive. But also, I think he meshes very well in this Kansas City Chiefs defense for one fact, and well, not one fact only, but because there's going to be multiple reasons we'll get into. But another thing about Brett Veach is he sees the holes and he makes sure to fill them up. Yesterday, we lost Juan Thornhill to the Cleveland Browns. You know I would have loved to keep Juan Thornhill. He looks like he's getting back to his own. He looks like he's finally healthy. And if anyone, I would have signed him to a 3-year. I would have given him the deal the Cleveland Browns did and just lock him up. But right now, it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs are going in a new direction with everyone else, so not surprising whatsoever. So what do? They bring Edwards in, and now you have Justin Reed, Brian Cook, and Mike Edwards. And that's going to be the main topic of conversation probably throughout this whole free agency and going into training camp and even preseason. Who is your safety number 2? The way I look at it initially is I believe Brian Cook takes that next step up. I think he's your safety number 2, and then Mike Edwards takes the role that Brian Cook took last year. And honestly, I think that's best for Mike Edwards too. Definitely coming off a struggling season where you don't have to put too much on this kid's shoulders. You basically say, hey, have fun, play football, go after the ball. You are probably one of the most, if not most, athletic DB on the Kansas City Chiefs roster, so do you, have fun. And with Juan Thornhill, I almost said Juan Thornhill because I did. See, I'm trying to delete all that stuff. The free agency, it is a monster. It'll get the best of you. But with Justin Reed and Brian Cook's going to have some shoes to fill and take that next level. But manning down that secondary, you have Mike Edwards just roaming around. Just watch the dude's highlights. Like, even this year, even though it was inconsistent, the boy is a playmaker. He is a ball hog. When the ball is near him, he is after it. He has like 2-3 pick sixes in his career. And one thing that stood out to me and why I think Spags really loved him was he excels in a safety blitz. This year, he got Mahomes with it on a sack. And we know Spags loves his safety blitzes. He goes nuts with them. I think this is the perfect addition. And also, too, we didn't just lose Juan Thornhill, but Deon Bush as well is a free agent out there. And Deon Bush, he was a rotational type of guy. We did see him more in the later part of the season, but special teams, which Mike Edwards, he's a special teams type of guy too. So you're basically getting someone at 1 year for $3 million with incentives that can go up to $5 million that can do 2 people's job. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as Juan Thornhill. I've heard someone compare saying they can be at the same playing level, which is outstanding, and which brings that question to now a lot of Chiefs can have is he safety number 2? like I mentioned, I want to slide with Brian Cooks. I feel like that's the way the Kansas City Chiefs want to go. And you saw it later in the year too. He was getting more snaps. And like I mentioned, the writing was on the wall for Juan Thornhill once Brian Cook was drafted. Brian Cook was supposed to be that replacement for Juan Thornhill, but man, it might be a fun camp battle, and they will both be going back and forth. I'm interested to see what Brian Cooks has up his sleeve too, because we saw in college when he was playing for the Cincinnati Bearcats, he is a thumper. He will lay people out. He loves to lay the hammer down. And now you get to see him more and more on the field. I'm excited for him because also, like rewinding back to last year's draft, that was a draft pick who I questioned. And I want to see if he answers a lot of my questions because I don't know if I really valued or expected him there. So let's see if it was a reach or let's see if he's a playmaker. But definitely from last year, what I saw from him, there's a lot of huge potential. But with Mike Edwards, Brian Cook, and Justin Reed, I think that is a promising 3 safety set moving for this defense. And I love what Brett Veach is cooking because this next move, none of us expected and none of us quite get it either. But we love it. And they signed Drew Tranquill from the Los Angeles Chargers to the same exact contract. And that is such a steal. One, I didn't even know Drew Tranquill was a free agent. That's how much I'm slacking on my information. I literally thought he was with the Chargers. But I remember the Chiefs-Chargers games for the, last 2 years, whatever it may be. It seemed like Drew Tranquill was all over the field. And that's why the Kansas City Chiefs got him. He is one of the best coverage linebackers in the league. He knows how to track down tight ends and even sometimes some slot receivers. And you know how Chiefs Kingdom feels when we see a linebacker out there in coverage. We hold our breath for a quick minute because we know someone about to get burned. Yes, we have those Ben Neiman days in our head. Drew Tranquill is a completely different type of specimen. And also, you pair him with a Willie Gay or Nick Bolton. And then you got Leo Chanel. This is like a nasty linebacking core now. It's going to be interesting to see where Drew Tranquill fits in. But best believe, just because that contract is 1 year, $3 million with $5 million up to incentives, he is going to play starter kind of snaps. The dude is a baller. He had 5 sacks this year. That dude gets interceptions. He had over 100 tackles. I do not know how the Chargers let him go. But also, too, there was reports coming out saying he had 5 other offers and he decided to come to Kansas City. I appreciate you because Brett Veach, he be looking for those steals. And this is where it comes to shine. This weekend, we might see some more. These are the type of contracts you will see Brett Veach working with if you are not familiar with it whatsoever. $1 to $3 million deals, up to $5 million. There's still guys out there like DJ Chark too. It's going to get so fun. It's going to get so interesting. But how nasty this defense can be next year, just off these kind of core players that don't cost so much. That's how the Kansas City Chiefs build this defense. This is the time to shine where, we're going to sign guys who maybe not a lot of people know of or will be shocked that we get them for so cheap. And then when draft comes, we hitting it out of the park. Today was a very good day to be a part of Chiefs Kingdom because, it's been quiet. It's been too quiet. But Brett Veach, he came and he shined. Chiefs Kingdom, let me know what kind of moves you're looking forward to. What do we need? I think if I'm analyzing this correctly, I really would like to see. Now, I'm going to be really picky with it. I'm not going to try to go too unrealistic either. I'm not going to be like DeAndre Hopkins straight. Even though that's not unrealistic, look how Brett Veach is moving. So I think there was a guy like Isaiah McKenzie who was released today, which an inconsistent receiver, but also a guy who he can be a very explosive receiver. But I'm looking at him in this aspect too is special teams. We saw special teams struggle immensely throughout the whole year. Yes, they showed up in the playoffs, but I don't need a repeat of last year into next year. So you might need to get a legit kickoff returner. And yes, I know Isaiah Pacheco is handling that, and I know Kadarius Toney is handling that. But I know how Coach Reed works too. And Isaiah Pacheco was only holding kickoffs for the fact he was a rookie. Get him more snaps, get him out there. He's RB1 now. It's highly unlikely he's going to be your kickoff returner number 1. So who's handling that? It could still be Kadarius Toney, but again, he's your wide receiver number 1 now. I just see him on punt returns. I don't see him getting too heavily involved in special teams, so you will need to address that. But also, like I mentioned, there's guys like a DJ Chark, Yannick Ngakoue as a pass rusher. I think he might be a little pricey, but it depends on how long he is out on the market. Or if you pair up Chris Jones with the Calais Campbell, that would be filthy. Chiefs Kingdom, there's so many guys. You let me know how you feel about the transactions today. They were sneaky, but that's how you become a Super Bowl champion. Or you let me know of guys you are interested in. With that, I'm going to close this out. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you did like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Y'all take care.